So good morning students, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so hire purchase system. Okay, I have done many videos. Okay, you just see my videos, you will come to know what is hire purchase system. Okay, what are its features, advantages, disadvantages, then rights and obligations of hire purchaser. Okay, then the journal entries to be passed in the books of hire purchaser, okay, under different methods, that is full cash price method and asset accrual method. Okay, then journal entries to be passed in the books of hire vendor. Okay, then you have calculation of depreciation, then calculation of interest. Okay, annuity method. Okay, sums on annuity. Okay, so you just see my videos, you will come to know, okay, how, okay, hire purchase chapter is done, okay, or it is solved. Okay, the sums are done. Okay, how the journal entries are passed. Okay, and ledger accounts are prepared. Okay, so if you have any doubt regarding any matter in hire purchase system, you please mention in the comment section. Okay, or you can personally and message me. Okay, I have Facebook page also, that is SR tutorial, and I have given you in the description box, you can see my number also, my phone number. Okay, there you can WhatsApp me, or I have my mail ID also, there you can mail me. Okay, so today I'm going to start the installment system. Okay, installment system. So what was hire purchase system? Hire purchase system is a system of sale, okay, sale of goods, okay, in periodical installments, where payment is made by the buyer in periodical installments. Okay, but the ownership remains with whom? With the seller. Okay, but in case of installment system, everything is same like hire purchase system, only the difference is the ownership gets transferred from the seller to the buyer on the very date of signing the agreement and taking delivery of the goods. Okay, so in case of hire purchase system, on the date of purchase of the goods, okay, the hire purchaser gets the possession of the goods from the seller. He can take the goods along with him from the seller. Okay, but ownership remains with the seller. But in case of installment system, the ownership also gets transferred to the buyer. Okay, when the buyer enters into the installment system agreement of sale. Okay, so you just see I have jotted down 8 points, okay, here on the blackboard. Okay, you just see, um, you will come to know what is installment system. Okay, both the meaning and the features, okay, both will come to know by seeing this 8 points. Okay, and it will be very easily clear to you what is installment system. Okay, you just see. So what are the important points? The first point is installment system or installment purchase system or installment payment system. So installment system is also known as installment purchase system or installment payment system. Okay, installment purchase system or installment payment system. This is the first point. The other two names of installment system. Then what is said in the second point? Payment in periodical installments, monthly, quarterly, half yearly and yearly. So payment, okay, as hire purchase system, payment will be made in periodical installments, which can be monthly, quarterly, half yearly or yearly. Okay. So each installment will again include interest as well as the some portion of cash price of the goods, like hire purchase system. Okay, so second point is also is same like hire purchase system. Okay, so payment will be made in periodical installments. Then number 3, you see ownership transfers on signing the agreement and receiving delivery of the goods. So ownership of the goods, okay, will transfer from the seller to the buyer, okay, immediately on signing the agreement, okay, and the buyer receiving delivery of the goods, okay. So ownership gets transferred from the seller to the buyer on the very date of purchase. This is the main point, okay, main distinction between hire purchase system and installment system. In hire purchase system, the ownership does not get transferred on the date of purchase, but in case of installment system, okay, the ownership gets transferred on the very date of purchase from the seller to the buyer. Then you see number 4, default in making payment of any installment by the buyer. The seller cannot take back the goods. He can only take steps for the recovery of the unpaid installments. So suppose there is a default. Default means what? The buyer cannot pay any of the installment. Okay, or 2 of the installments he has paid. The rest 3 he cannot pay. Then the seller cannot take back the goods from the buyer in case of installment system. Okay, because the ownership of the goods has got transferred to the buyer on the very date of purchase of the goods by the buyer. Okay, so the seller can only take steps for the recovery of the unpaid installments. So for the leftover 3 installments, okay, the seller can only take steps, okay, against the buyer to recover that, okay, those installments, the amount of those installments. Okay, so the seller cannot take back the goods, okay, in case of default in making payment of any of the installments by the buyer. So that is said in point number 4. Then what is said in point number 5? It is a type of credit sale. Okay, it is a type of credit sale. Okay, where the payment will be made in installments. Okay, like in credit sale also the ownership gets transferred, but the payment will be made at some future date. So here also the ownership will get transferred on the very date of purchase of the goods. Okay, but the payment will be made at some future date. Like here the payments are made in periodical installments, but in credit sale only one payment will be made, okay, at some future date. Okay, so it is a type of credit sale. Then point number 6, the seller has no right of repossession of the goods. The seller cannot repossess the goods. In case of hire purchase system, in case the buyer cannot pay any of the installment, okay, the seller has the right to repossess the goods. But here repossession is not allowed since ownership gets transferred to the buyer. Okay, so repossession is not allowed here. Then you see no return of goods by the buyer once purchased. Again, the buyer also cannot return the goods once it is purchased. Once it is purchased by the buyer, he cannot return the goods. Once it is sold by once the goods are sold by the seller cannot repossess the goods again. Okay, in case of default in making payment of installments by the buyer. Okay, so no return of goods. Then you see, buyer has the right to sell, mortgage the goods before he makes the full payment of the goods. So since ownership remains with the buyer can sell or mortgage the goods. Okay, he has that right. Okay, before he makes full payment of the goods, before the buyer makes full payment of the goods, okay, clears all his unpaid installments, okay, he can sell or mortgage the goods. okay, because ownership remains with the buyer. Okay, so these are the few points, okay, you have to remember, okay, in order to read the chapter installment system. Very important points. Okay, then we will go for sums. Okay, there are some distinctions, like distinction between hire purchase system and installment system, distinction between installment system and credit sale. Okay, so that we will discuss in the next class. Okay, for today, okay, just try to, okay, remember these points, okay, these 8 points which are very important in order to understand installment system. What is installment system? In these 8 points, okay, lies the meaning of installment system as well as its features. Okay, as well as its features. You can write down meaning, meaning and features. Okay, meaning and features in all these 8 points. Okay, so I hope this is very clear to you. Okay, if you like my video, please the new viewers, subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon for latest updates. Okay, and please share and comment. Okay, and if you have any doubts regarding hire purchase system chapter, please mention in the comment section. Okay, thank you for today.